Hey everyone! Welcome back with a video that I promised I'd make today. So here it is. These are all of the things in Naruto that piss me off. Now, I want to make things abundantly clear. I still like Naruto. I really do. I used to be one of the biggest Naruto you would ever fucking meet. I watched the English dub of the anime since day one, okay? Back when it originally appeared on Cartoon Network. I watched it. I'm serious. I just happened to catch it randomly on TV once. So I think it was midway into it though. And alright, so I mean, I had to catch it again some other time. This was before I had internet, so I actually had to I continued to watch it weekly. But I did end up catching the episode 1 again some other time. So I catch them while I missed out. And it wasn't too far in. I don't think it was quite towards the middle. So I didn't miss out on too much. So basically, I'm a long-time fan of Naruto. Not so much the Japanese version of the anime or the manga, but I'm still a long-time fan of Naruto. And I still am. Alright. I still watch both the Japanese and English versions of the anime. And I still read the manga. But Naruto has dwindled in quality over the years. Even a long-time fan like me, who's still a fan of the series, is able to see this. All right, it's not what it used to be, and of course, Kishimoto could always make it great again. I mean, if he makes a new arc, though, I need to get this out there right now. If he makes a new arc, I honestly think that he should make it, set it in the same universe, but set it 10, maybe even 15 years in the future with a new cast of characters and whatnot that you can build up instead of recycling all the same ones. And there could still be some of the same ones around, especially some of the younger generations, like Konohamaru. If it's set 10 to 15 years in the future, I would expect to still be alive, hopefully, unless he was killed in battle or something, and maybe Naruto's Hokage, maybe he died along the way, and they're, have a seal around the 10 tails until they can find the appropriate host for it. I don't know. But that's what I think Kishi should do if he decides to continue the series and expand it. Because at the beginning of this arc back in 2010, he did say that he plans on this being the final arc. But since then, he said that he would like to expand on the series. I think he said something along the lines of he thinks he's made a mistake stating that or something, because he's still really in love with the series, although the recent chapter would say otherwise, but let's not get into that again. Go watch my review of the most recent chapter of Naruto if you want further information on that. Over 20 minutes long! I needed to say I was pissed off, and there's a lot of things in the series that pisses me off. Some of the things were present since day one, and I didn't really, take into consideration. Other things were present since day one, and I kind of did take into consideration even back then. And some of the things are actually rather new, in terms of they haven't been there forever, Oh, of course, that all depends on your definition of forever. But anyways, this is not exactly. I forgot exactly the number of ones in here. I do have a few off the top of my head. I do have a few I remember off the top of my head, and if I think of any others, I'll mention them. But these are in no particular order. Although my biggest one, which I will mention probably last, alright, would definitely be number 1 if these were in any particular order. But they're not. So yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's get this show on the road then. Things in Naruto that piss me off, oh my god. The lack of character development in characters. Now, there are characters that in part 1, now I do think Shippuden, in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, better. But there's things in part 1 that they did right that they're not doing right in part 2. For example, character development. There's characters like Neji Hyuga and Rock Lee, among others, that had a place in part 1. For example, with Rock Lee, his main form of character development was during his fight with Gaara, and there was some scenes before that was leading up to that. But one of the big ones was his fight with Gaara, where he was the first Shinobi ever to hit Gaara, but he still lost. And then, like, his recovery time as well was character development for him. But after that, no one gave a shit about Gaara anymore. At least it seemed like Kishimoto didn't. And Gaara, I mean, no one cared about Rock Lee anymore. At least it seemed like Kishi didn't. And I still think that Rock Lee's a really good character. So a lot of people disagree with me on that, but I do. But why does it seem like Kishimoto doesn't care anymore, you know? It seemed like after he fully recovered, his character development ended. Okay? Oh, and it was really cool also when he came to Naruto's aid against Kimimaro, although he couldn't do anything. Gaara had to save him, you know? So, yeah. And then there was Neji. After his battle with Kidomaru, Neji's character development ended. In part 2, we see Neji and Rock Lee fight against themselves, okay? And that's pretty much it. Like, and Kishimoto did take Neji the extra mile, and actually, you know, he died in the war, basically. He died like, not quite a year ago yet in real world time, but still. So he did take Neji a little bit further, and since that he died and had a really emotional scene during this war. But other than that, Neji didn't get a whole lot of scenes, and really the Konoha 11 don't get a whole lot of scenes in general in terms of developing their character and getting a lot of really awesome fight scenes. And there's so much more that could be done with these characters. Fucking Sakura, which I have to admit, like, I don't like Sakura nearly as much as I used to. I used to be a huge fan of her, but, you know, those were back in my fanboyish days. But still, like, there's so much more that could have been done with that fucking character, and it seems like Kishi doesn't care anymore. Or doesn't really care, you know. Nowadays, he seems to focus mainly on Naruto and Sasuke, and that's it. I think that's wrong. If you're creating a story with this size of amount of characters, you need to be prepared to develop all of them appropriately. And as soon as you're done, and even if you're done developing a character, don't just throw them out unless you plan on killing them off. You know, such as what Kishi did with Neji. He finally killed Neji off to prove that, okay, I'm done with Neji. Although, I think he was done with Neji after part 1, honestly. So, yeah. And so that is one of my biggest complaints, is that the lack of character development. Another complaint that I have is the lack of, a complaint that a lot of people have. I didn't really think about it earlier on in the series, but now it's been there since day 1, and it's still there. Not as bad, but it's still pretty fucking bad. Is females tend to be pretty useless. Like Sakura, for example, Tenten, Ino, Hinata, like, I don't care if Hinata fought Pain, she still fucking lost. And it's not the fact that she lost, it's the fact that she didn't accomplish anything. She almost knocked Pain off guard using her Byakugan once. And he was able to back himself away from Hinata so he could regain his composure and then attack again. So that accomplished nothing. It's not the fact that she lost, it's the fact that she accomplished nothing when she did that. Which is the part that really irks me. In part 1, there were literally no useful female characters. Until Tsunade was introduced as, like, incredible healer and superhuman fucking strength, she's still my favorite female character in the series. There are no useful characters. There was Tamari, I suppose you could say, and Tamari's a pretty cool character, I think. But she's not seen all that often, and when she's first seen, she's an enemy. She fights against Tenten and wins, by the way, so that probably the first actual strong female character right there was Tamari. But she's not actually seen as an ally until the Sasuke retrieval arc, and that's way into the Sasuke retrieval arc anyways. You know, she helps Shikamaru fight against Tayuya. So, yeah, and in part 2, you know, there are more useful characters. Hinata's definitely more useful, so is Sakura because she has great healing abilities and superhuman strength. Ino definitely, because during this war, she stalled the Ten Tails for a few seconds and whatnot in order, you know. So that was pretty, with her jutsus, that was pretty fucking cool. But still, we don't really have those incredible fight scenes with any of them. I'm going to tell you right now, Hinata versus Pain was pathetic. I'm not saying I expected anything different. Well, for all you saying, oh, don't hate on Hinata, she fought against Pain. It was a pathetic fight. I don't care what you say, it was a fucking pathetic fight. Regardless if she fought or not, it was a fucking pathetic fight. And I would say, oh, but it was so cute, she confessed her feelings for Naruto. So? We could tell that she had a thing for Naruto since, for fucking years. Naruto's just a fucking dumbass, okay? That's what he is. He's just a fucking dumbass. I mean, and it's not like it's gonna go anywhere, because Kishimoto has had, and this kind of complaint I have too, because it's kind of trollish in a way, but this is what a lot of shonens have, is where Kishimoto has been doing this thing throughout the entire course of the series where, you know, since pretty much day one, where he'll have Narusaku moments and he'll have Naruhina moments. He has a shit ton of them both of them throughout the course of the series. So your Naruhina moments. In part one, the tuning exams, one's definitely one, and also there are several moments I'm just going to group together outside of that. And in part two, there's definitely that fight, and also that one moment right after Neji's death during the war arc is definitely one. But and I'm sure there's more too, but let's talk about Narusaku moments now. There's that one moment when Minato arrives at the war and asks if Sakura is Naruto's girlfriend or whatever he says. There's that one moment right after Pain's defeated where Sakura hugs Naruto. Alright, there's that one moment right before Naruto and the others are about to leave to retrieve Sasuke in part 1, when Sakura asks Naruto to bring Sasuke back for her, and there's that one moment way early on, way before that even, when basically when Sakura still has her long hair, okay, and she decided at first that she wants to try to be nicer to Naruto, but we all know how that went. And then there's that there's that one moment when they're training with tree climbing jutsu with Kakashi, when Naruto asks Sakura for advice because remember, you know, Naruto didn't have enough chakra, but Sasuke had too much, and Sakura had perfect amount of chakra for it. Alright, I'm sure there was more too. So, and that is something that kind of pisses me off, but you see it in a lot of shonen like this, so I'm not really too complaining about it, but yeah, it's, wow. Anyways though, let's see here. Other things that piss me off in Naruto, okay, here's one. I don't think there's enough, like, variety in antagonists. And what do I mean by that? Well, I think there's too many villains in Naruto that are evil just for the sake of being evil. And being a villain by definition means you're evil just for the sake of being evil. There's different kinds of antagonists, and villains is one of them. I'll probably make a video on this sometime in the future. Alright, but there are way too many just generic run-of-the-mill villains in Naruto. I can name a shit ton of them. Orochimaru's one. Even though he's a really interesting character, he's still falls in that category. Kisame's one. Again, really interesting character, really good character, but he still falls into that category. Both Higa and Kakuzu definitely fall into that category. Zetsu definitely falls in that category. So do Obito and Madara. Alright, and Zabuza and Gato, so do the Sound Trio, so do the 4 members of the Sound 5, meaning Kimimaru's not included in that, but the other 4 members do. Sakon, Tayuya, Jirobo, and Kidomaru. Alright. And so is Kabuto. Oh my god. I mean, here, so is Deidara, so is Sasori. Who else? Like, there's way too many of them that are. Like, and that's just canon. That's just canon villains. The only ones I can honestly think of that aren't would be Itachi, definitely. He's definitely a tragic villain. Okay. So Itachi's one of them. Dear God, who else? Nagato and Conan, definitely. Because Nagato, or Pain, let's call him Pain, is a Byronic hero. Okay? And Conan, I don't know what you'd really call her, but she's definitely not a generic villain. Okay? Those are like the only three, though. And there should definitely be more. If Kishimoto does extend the series on, he should definitely make more interesting antagonists. I'm not saying you can't have more generic villains that are evil just for the sake of being evil. You know, Sasuke was one of them at one point, and now I don't know what the fuck Sasuke's doing. But, you know. Sorry about that. You know, and frickin' Sasuke's Taka too, you know, Suigetsu Karine. Jugo's not. Jugo just wants to follow Sasuke. So I'll give him that. So I guess there's technically, you know, 4. Then, if you want to say that, okay, 4. But still, I mean, really. Alright, and I'm not saying, you know, if Kishimoto does decide to extend the series, I'm not saying that he can't have more generic villains, but he should have more interesting villains too. Or rather, more interesting antagonists too. That we can maybe feel more sympathy for, okay? Now, Kishimoto does have a talent with making not all, but a lot of his generic villains still interesting. Like I said, Orochimaru and Kisame, definitely. Okay, they're still really good characters. They're still really fun characters to watch, like in battle and whatnot. But still, I think he really should focus on writing more interesting characters in the future if he does decide to extend the series. Okay. So yeah, and so that's definitely one of my biggest problems with the series as well. From a writing standpoint, it just seems very lazy. And this, of course, as a kid, is something I did not think about ever. But now, as like I'm writing my first novel, as a writer, and from a writing standpoint, it does look very lazy. Okay, on Kishimoto's part. So yeah, you know, another problem I have with the series is Naruto. Like, and enough said. Another problem I have with the series is sometimes Kishimoto retcons his fucking series. Like, plot hole alert. Back when Naruto and Neji were originally fighting, Naruto said, you can fight your own destiny. You can create your own destiny. There is no such thing as destiny. You make your own. Because Neji said that people have to live by their own destiny. You remember that, right? Right, we all do. Okay, good. And Naruto defeated Neji. Now guess what? Naruto is the child of fucking prophecy. So, what was the point of that? That's a huge fucking plot hole. Because, like, if he's the child of prophecy, then that means he is bound by destiny. Even if he doesn't want to win, he will still automatically win, period. Alright. There'd never be a point when he wouldn't want to win, but still. That's a huge fucking plot hole. I'm sure there are others, more minor ones in the series, but that's a huge one, I feel. Okay. That retcons his entire fucking series. The only way this would be fixed is if Naruto dies in the end and doesn't become Hokage. That would be the only way this could possibly be fixed. Okay, is if Naruto dies in the end and unable to become Hokage or possibly lead the shinobi world like the Sage of the Six Paths did. Which Kishimoto did say a while back that he does want to end the manga with a dark twist, so who knows? He could possibly plan on doing that. Maybe he planned on doing that all along, or maybe he realized how badly he fucked up his series by retconning it that badly and creating that plot hole, so he just decided to do that later on. I don't know, but if he did that, first off, I'd be happy, because I hate Naruto as a character, ironically enough. And And secondly, you know, that would be really good because I feel that would take care of the plot hole. That would get rid of it. Alright, because obviously the destiny that we once thought would have been fake. Because he wouldn't get to live on to become Hokage or leave the Shinobi world like the Sage of the Six Paths once did. Alright, but that would be the only way he could possibly get rid of that plot hole. Okay? And if he doesn't, then that plot hole will be looming over this fucking series. Okay? Honestly. I can only think of one more thing that pisses me off in Naruto, but it is so fucking huge. I talked about this in my review of this recent chapter. I'm going to discuss it again. As we in the manga reviewing community here on YouTube call it, talk no jutsu, where Naruto simply talks to his enemies and they suddenly see the error of their ways. Fucking horseshit, okay? This happened with Zabuza. This happened with fucking Nagato. This is currently happening with Obito. Well, still up in the air now. We don't know if it's actually going to work with Obito or not, but he's trying, though. He tried to do this with Sasuke for a long-ass time, but it didn't work. It finally worked with Hashirama, which is nice that it wasn't Naruto, but it's still talk no jutsu. It's like, how does this make any sense whatsoever? And maybe you're thinking to me, or saying to me, don't take it too seriously, it's just fiction, it doesn't have to make sense. Well, something like this does, on a writing standpoint, something like this needs to make some remnants of fucking sense. And also it's boring when that happens too. First off, it's fucking boring when that happens. Boring as shit because we don't get a final fight. Like when it happened with fucking Nagato. I still think that the Invasion of Pain arc is the best arc in the entire fucking series, in my opinion. But that was such a huge fucking colossal bullshit of an ending, disappointment of an ending. And I hated it, okay? I really did. So, yeah. I mean, like okay, look at it this way, okay? When someone has been living their whole life, or so many fucking years of their life, believing that their moral values are above yours, that their opinions on the world are above yours, that their justification for doing things is above yours, you can't just talk to them one fucking time and expect them to change their ways all of a sudden. See, it doesn't work that way. And it's incredibly fucking stupid on a writing standpoint, boring on a writing standpoint, and it's just bad writing, okay? No matter what way you look at it, it's bad fucking writing. It really is. And Naruto's been doing this throughout the entire series, it seems. In fact, yeah, he has. Oh, I forgot, another generic villain, Mizuki, from the very beginning, so yeah, better get that out there. But anyways, it's bad writing, okay? And, like, I just don't know what to say now. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's, like I said before, it's just bad writing, and it should not exist, but it does exist for whatever fucking reason. Zabuza, Obito now, Nagato, Sasuke. Like, how is this justifiable that he can do this? You know, even Neji, like, that one's a bit better because it did end in an epic fight with Naruto having an epic victory. But Talk no Jutsu still existed, okay, in that fight, and Neji, after the fight, Neji was still thinking about not only Naruto's victory, but everything Naruto said, and it's just bullshit, okay? Utter bullshit. That is my single largest problem with Naruto today. Again, I actually didn't think of that when I was a kid because there were still a lot of epic fights back then. Alright, and I love the drama and everything. Alright, so I didn't think about that again. But now, looking back, it's horrible. It's fucking horrible. And it has to be mentioned. Alright. Yeah. But anyways, over 25 minutes here. I think I'm done though with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, if I think of enough other ones, I'll definitely make another video. I'll have to think of enough of them though, but you know, if I do, then I will definitely also, I guess I should mention, there's way too much fucking talking nowadays. Way more than there used to be, and not enough fighting. I guess I should just mention that right there. So yeah. But if I think of enough others, I'll definitely make another video. But I'll think of enough of them. Like, I won't just make another video for like 1 or 2 of them, or even 3 of them. So, yeah. But anyways, overall, if you enjoyed this video, guys, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.